Okay. At 6 o'clock, I'm going to open the meeting for the select board of March 24. Plainfield, and four of us are here. Peter is going to be late, but probably on Zoom.
And before we get started, since we've had issues with technical things and people using nasty images, can we just ask who the guest is? They're not on camera, not on, and they're just there. We'll probably remove them if they don't put their name in. So if you're on Zoom and you're using guest, we need you to put your name in, or we're going to remove you from the meeting.
Can you hear us?
They should be able to hear us.
Okay.
Mary Lane, can you hear us? You can just, yep, thumbs
Yeah.
up. You can just do thumbs up. I think, yeah. So I think we should probably just remove that person. They can always come back, but
Yeah.
given we've had problems with, you know.
Unknown people.
Yep. Thank you.
Good call.
I mean, just transparently, there are times when people are signing in with their telephone handles. Like
Yeah.
iPhone 2.
Yeah, we could do the same because we are supposed to have a record of everyone who attends the meeting. And so people that are on Zoom should be putting their names in. Just so we know who they are.
Yeah,
They're on camera now, so
Note taking.
yeah.
Okay,
So to repeat that announcement for whoever is using the handle iPhone 2, would you please identify yourself?
And it looks like they came on camera. We saw their face for a minute, so they're a real person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
not a bot. Okay, so we're called to order, change the agenda. We were feeling that the traffic memo is going to be something we can take out.
Yeah, we don't have the memo yet, so
We
there's
don't have
nothing to
it, yeah.
discuss.
That's going to be changed. And
The quick add to the agenda is an appointment of Dave Boynton to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Revolving Loan Committee.
yes,
Where would you like to add that?
let's
the
see, is there
agenda? Right before the executive session, or?
isn't there some more issues we're dealing with, draft minutes and so on?
That's after the executive session, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it there.
Okay.
Dave Boynton.
Might we add March 1st minutes to the group of minutes to be approved? I
Yeah.
didn't see it being approved. so
Oh,
this one-
I added it to these notes, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So it's 10th, 17th and 1st.
And town meeting for
Okay. Okay, all right. Any other changes to the agenda? All right, announcements. You wanna say anything? Board? We're gonna talk about the village expansion committee formation later, so we can do that then. Public comment, is there anyone who's gonna wanna make a comment? Yes? Your name, please?
And you gotta go to the microphone.
Yeah, we'd like you to go to the mic. Just so everybody can hear.
I'm gonna put a chair over there in case someone.
Yeah, I'll share it.
No, I got it.
And then Don. has
Actually,
their hand up.
This will take more time than we want to put in on here. Can I just speak to somebody after this meeting?
I think that's, yeah, if it's longer than a few minutes,
Yeah.
couple minutes, it's probably best to do that.
What's the topic? Just how the funds are gonna be on the bonding and whatnot.
Okay, you can talk to one of us, and if it's worthy of we can get it on another agenda.
Take up your time here.
Well, last meeting, there was an hour and a half of discussion of things, so we're not gonna let that occur again. We can't take that much time.
It's their hand up.
Oh, he didn't do a public
Or
comment. That's fine.
announcements.
Oh, Dawn, you have an announcement
Or a public.
or a
comment?
public comment?
Is that not a hand?
No, that's your hand. That's your,
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
that's where you were.
Get your hand
We're
out
gonna
there.
let you move her around the screen. So,
Sorry, Dawn.
all right.
Okay, so we'll move along then to town clerk's report.
Yeah, do you want me to use a micro or microphone? Oh,
If you could use that one, that'd be great. We're trying different systems
Do you
here.
mind standing up or would you rather sit down?
Yes, it's okay. I'll let you know if I still have to sit down, I will.
Okay.
Bram Tobin, Town Clerk. A couple of items. One, we have hired a new assistant to join our team with Carol and Josh and I. Their name is Jamie Hammock. We're starting April 7th. And we're very excited about that. There were a lot of very fine candidates, but we decided on them, and they will once again start April 7th. I think just sort of going over other stuff. I have a contract for the auction contract, so it's in here.
What's the problem?
It's in the yellow folder? Okay.
Yeah.
The mic is on, it might just not be close enough to his face, he might just have to move the stand up a little farther. Oh, it was on him.
You all heard it, it's on.
Acknowledge it's true.
1, 2,
That's better.
it's on, okay.
Can you raise that up for him a little bit? Don't take his teeth out.
Brent Tobin, Town Clerk, I don't know how much of the first part you heard, but we hired a new assistant town clerk to join Carol and Josh and I in the municipal building. Their name is Jamie Hammock. They're a Plainfield resident. We look forward to them joining on April 7th. I just was saying, there was a lot of discussion regarding disposing of town assets, especially large items, big ticket items, trucks. There is a outfit, which I sent you information on, that other towns have used with success. And there's a contract for municipalities. They don't charge, they charge you like a listing fee, but it's not exclusive. And they have a very wide reach. And I think we feel good going forward to give them a shot. If you want to entertain a motion to approve that contract, that would be great. We had just, unfortunately, the elevator in the municipal building, it's in the municipal building, not this building, will be out of service indefinitely. We've had some issues with it. Unfortunately, the manufacturer is out of business many years ago, and parts are hard to come by, and there's a switch that we need, and I don't have a firm date on when that will be. I will let everybody know ASAP for town committees and so forth. Please make note of this. It will not be handicapped accessible, the second floor room. So I would try to maybe move your meetings here if you have that need for open meeting things. And I will let everybody know as soon as possible when that will be fixed. I think that's it on my end.
Okay,
Thank you, Jack.
thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Can you spell hammock for me? Is it HAMMOCK?
I think it's ACK.
HAMMACK.
ACK, thank you.
Correct.
Sorry if I missed this. Did you talk about the fleet permits?
Oh, I did not put.
You put it on the agenda, but.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was on the agenda and I forgot to talk about it. So, the state of Vermont has a program that towns have people who drive trucks on the road, register them and present insurance. And that process has been managed by the select board. And it's time consuming and cumbersome because you have to go through each company and name the company and the town they're in and so forth. And another motion that I would like to suggest is that the select board could make the town clerk in charge of that process. I think it will smooth things and save you guys time and make things easier. So that should be consideration. Thank you, Dan, for reminding me.
Yep. Okay, so we have two potential motions. One is the fleet permit authorization going to town clerk. I should add that most of the time that we're approving these fleet permits, we don't know anything about anything. It's all determined by the road foreman and the clerk.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
think that it's an archaic thing to require the select board to have it. It's not mandatory, and I think it just makes things easier to have us handle that administrative task.
Yep, I agree.
And I will make a motion to allow the town clerk to handle all the fleet permit approvals.
Second that.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And it's unanimous with the four that are here. The other item is the online auction.
Yeah. Can I make a motion that we enter into contract with Auctions International Incorporated for the sale of unneeded and disused town equipment?
Second,
And any discussion on that? All those in favor, say aye.
Uh,
aye.
Aye. And that's also unanimous. Okay, thank you, town clerk. Josh, treasurer's report?
This morning I spoke with Bonnie Belchelder from CPA from Batchelder and Associates in Barry about obtaining services to do the bookkeeping, reconciliation, and tying together the tax administration modules and integrating a new cash receipts module and all of the kind of restructuring financially that we need to do. Really good conversation, and to do like essentially like kind of a free kind of perusal of the ledger and the books to kind of see what to quote us. And so we should get that back well before the next select board meeting. So I'll have
Great.
that to pass around. We'll probably expect to get it by the end of the week, but and so that's one of the major things that came up. And then we've set up payment for school taxes, so we're all paid up there. And then we usually do a reconciliation around May, and maybe we'll get some money a little bit back. It's always kind of a push and pull thing. Those are the major things for the treasurer's report. I've got a bit more on the road report, so I jump right into that. Not the lower. Tobacco that was hit in the accident involving Sean Conley.
Mhm.
Like, we should be getting back roughly about 51,000 from the insurance company on that. And then with that money combined with the sale of another piece of equipment that we're looking to move out, the 2005 dump truck, which is in pretty good condition for its age. It's been stored inside quite a bit. Plus like a sale of like the truck that we're gonna look at this evening, and the road foreman would like to he's gotten quotes for a trailer to move, an excavator, and a quote for an excavator. And it looks like we could do that in this fiscal year and just get it over the line with what we have available, if we can kind of get back what we would expect from the MAC. What would make sense to do sooner is to get the trailer, so even if we didn't have if we decided to push off having an excavator and we had to lease an excavator or rent it as needed, we at least would have a trailer and I have a quote for the trailer, which I can share around line, for, I think, all told, it's about 25,000 for the trailer to haul that excavator. And there's like a 9-week lead time on that. So, so that's something that, you know, we'd be looking for approval on. And, so this kind of getting us hopefully set up so that some of this work that's coming down, that we can take on ourselves using our force account labor. And the next big piece of news, kind of leading into the work we're gonna need to be doing, coming up here is, we have completed the at the ready process for selecting municipal project management firm, VHPs who we selected, and we talked about that last time. We had a first like kind of free kickoff meeting with, Ross Gowan and Evan. Don't remember Evan's last name right now, from VHP. And, that went well today and Carl was there. And so the next process is to select with the at the ready roster, likely for a design, consultant. And I, and in sort of studying the process, have a fairly good idea who should probably take that on. And then, myself and Peter and Carl, who are making up the, kind of the, selection, group from the town for selecting the municipal project managers. We've approved like VHB to take on, sites 2 and 3, which is essentially the Brook Road from Mill Street to Cameron Road. But Cameron Road is FEMA and not federal highway, so up to that point, VHB is municipal project management, and there's some savings there because they're adjacent sites. They have like, they have interactions in terms of like what makes sense to put in the road. And, you know, we're trying to move as quickly as we can on some of this stuff. And in addition to that, today I completed, the damage inventory, summaries for, sites 1 and 2, which is Mill Street and the Bridge 21 on Brook Road, the first one you hit when you're going out there. Those are completed and submitted. And so that is the sort of the first step to get funds back to the town, which, you know, at present, we could really use those to start coming back. And the, let's see. And then, I would expect by maybe the end of the week, we'll have most of those damaged inventories completed, because all of the sorting and everything has been done. And really, it's just down to like, creating the documents and scanning and uploading it to, the drive, and then sending it on to, Ross Gowan, our liaison with Municipal Systems Bureau. And then we have some bids to open.
Can I ask a question of you?
You gotta be on the microphone.
I have to say up there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Name too.
Ken Nolan, I have a question for you. Who
Yep.
of the employees has the endorsement to haul heavy equipment? As far as I know, you have just one. Is he willing to do it?
I believe
Dylan,
Dylan,
right, but is he willing to haul heavy equipment?
to the best of my knowledge, he is,
Have you asked him?
I'll ask him again.
Because,
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
does the board have any other questions for Josh?
You know, is Josh complete?
We're gonna open the bids.
I have a question, or I just want to have a clarification, make sure that everybody understands what we did today. We kicked off a meeting with a project manager who is the one who's going to oversee the construction of a new Mill Street Bridge. And this is required, and it's an engineering firm that will get bids, study the river, get designs. They're gonna organize all that, so we don't have to. And that is included in the award we get for the help we get for building the bridge. Yes,
So real quick before we get to the bids, on the cost and sales of town equipment. So the backhoe was hit by the exact accident. We're gonna get $51,000 back, we think. Did we replace that with another backhoe?
No, they want to replace that with. the excavator.
With the excavator, so we're gonna use the 51,000 to get an excavator,
Thank you.
part of it, okay? And then getting rid of the dump, the 2005 dump truck, and then the black tagged vehicle that we spoke about last time. Those two sales together would be the cost of the trailer, is that what you're saying?
No, like the excavator and the trailer, plus some of the equipment fund. Would come out to the trailer and the excavator. So like the sale of this plus. An 1988 tractor and the 2005 truck and the insurance money. Works out to roughly the amount that we would need to purchase an excavator and a trailer.
Okay.
just
And,
like,
and also, I don't know and maybe Graham does, our town, purchasing policy, I know you said you had a quote for a trailer.
Mhm.
Are we required to do more than one quote for something like
I
that?
think we got 2 quotes.
Okay.
Right now.
Got it. I don't know, we should just check the policy and make sure we're following it.
yeah. Any other questions from the board? We have a question up, Michael?
Yeah, it's a question for Josh. Josh, some time in the last few weeks, I offered that the Hazard Mitigation Committee would be available to help, at least in an advisory way, to the Mill Street Bridge project, because we had been so involved with the Great Brook Bridge project when that was underway. It took several years of our involvement. And one of the things I'm asking, or the thing I'm asking here is, we also have a scoping study that is projected to be taking place almost at the same time that might lead to a 40-foot widening of the channel upstream of the Mill Street Bridge. Is there any sense of how these things are sequenced, like first, second, and third, or does the engineering firm VHB need to know about the scoping study, and do they already know? It's that kind of question.
Well, I can answer that. I talked to them today and that we advised them that we are doing studies on the brook. And the Evan assured us that that would be taken into account. We're a ways away from getting into that kind of detail. So right now, we're trying to figure out permits and that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Yep.
Josh is opening up bids for,
Yeah, explain what it's for. Sure, I can do it if you want.
well, or one of you should explain
Yeah,
it
yeah.
for the meeting.
Okay, so, at the last meeting, there were questions on how we dispose of, big ticket town equipment items. We have a, severely damaged pickup. It's black flag, meaning it will not pass inspection due to a bent frame. We're going to sell it to a town employee for $4,500, but, we decided to pursue a bid process. I took ads out in the newspaper and advertised it on social media, and the bids closed at 5 p.m. on Friday, and we got, I think, 6 bids. So this is for a vehicle that has low mileage relatively, but is has a bent frame, which makes it impossible for it to pass inspection.
Thank you.
And Josh, you're gonna just open them and say how much the bid is for? Right, okay.
Number 1 is 6,200. Bid number 2 is $500. I got it.
Okay.
Bid number 3 is $8,201.
Already doing better than we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is $6,100.
I did.
Bid number 5 says $4,500 or $200 over the highest bid amount.
Oh.
Can you do that in a bidding process? I don't. I don't think that's.
This is actually more entertaining than I thought it would be.
Bid number 6 is $5,160.
Josh, do you happen to know if all those folks looked at the vehicle, or did they just do it online, or do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. And second question, what do we have to pay towards the auction house that's
Well,
doing
this
this
is,
work?
this isn't an auction house. We just did that ourselves, right?
You did it yourself?
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay,
as requested by us at the last meeting.
great, fantastic.
Next time.
Yeah, nice. You can start a new career.
So next steps here, you're gonna follow up with the highest bidders.
Well, I think do we have to make a motion to accept the highest bid?
This is,
And what is highest?
Well, it's 8201.
Plus 200.
Well, no, but.
No,
I think that's
200.
a real bid. I mean, how do you?
I think because there's no formal policy, I think it would be fine to say, to make a motion and accept the highest bid. And perhaps that should be incorporated into the future,
So we have to develop a
We
policy.
have to develop a policy, especially when we're talking about larger ticket items that, could be in the tens of thousands of dollars and so forth. So,
Yeah,
I think it would be fine to have a motion on it.
okay, great.
So my only concern with this, the plus 200 is if he was bidding in the 4,500 range and this is gonna be potentially 8,400. The big difference, if we go
That
back to that person, I know, that's right, then they might wanna negotiate, or maybe they can, they can't. To me, I think we should go for the highest actually given bid,
Yeah, I
which
agree.
is 8,201. And
Could we allow for either? Could we say, just follow up with the plus 200 if they're good with it? And if not, it goes to the 8,200?
I would rather be more decisive than leave our staff in the position of having to do that personally.
They said highest bid plus 200, and they might have just put the $4,500 bid to start low. And they might very well have 14 grand to spend, they just didn't want to put all up front. I'd reach out to that person.
What's clearer for you, Bram?
I think whatever the select board decides. And
Okay.
The person that's looking, say your name.
That was Taylor Dickens, right?
Did you get it?
I don't have to write it down, but.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Well, we have a-
Whatever you decide is fine with us.
We have a motion.
I mean, I am more, I'd rather just pick the one that actually gave us the number. We know that they're willing to pay that amount.
Yeah.
We have a staff who's already overworked for them to have to do multiple conversations on this, when we can just go to someone and say, you said 8,201, we'll take 8,201. So I make a motion that we accept bid number 3 for $8,201 for the sale of the black tag truck.
Can you divulge the name? No.
I have no idea.
We have a second?
Can they divulge the name?
No second.
Once again, this is a gray area, and whatever the select board wants to do, this will be you know, it will be, it's a town property, it'll eventually be public.
I think once it's a sale, it can be
Yeah,
announced, but I don't think we should
that's
announce all of the
because I'm
bid
a little bit
names.
nervous about saying somebody's name and then they back out of it and all that, so. You know, I'd rather just see if they come up with the cash.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think my sensitivity here is, I don't know any of these people who's making these bids. I'm like led to believe that the person who said over $200 more than the highest bidder needs that truck for something.
They all might need the truck for something.
And really wants it and is willing to pay the most for it. And yeah, that's like done as a guarantee to get it. And so I guess, I mean, it is one more phone call for you, Bram.
Once again, I'm totally comfortable with whatever you wanted to do. I mean, I have a little bit of egg in my face because I was gonna let it go for 4,500. I mean, I think whatever you guys wanna do is fine, and I'm not, you know.
An extra $200 for the town, actually.
And then Ryan Christensen is a comment.
Ryan, you have a point on this point?
Yeah, just an idea. Maybe you just go out for a second round and say the highest bid is 8401, and would anybody like to beat that bid and take the all the highest bidders and let them take another shot at it?
Even that sounds like too much work. for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. You had a thought on this, Lauren?
Go to the person who said they want to pay $200 more than the highest bid, and they said they can't do it. Can't you just go to the next person then?
I would think so, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Is that okay with you?
It's fine. Absolutely fine.
Can we modify
No, someone else can make a motion.
somebody else can make a
I
motion?
will make a motion to offer the truck to the person with the highest bid, the plus $200 bid. They may not know how high it went. If it's too high, to offer it to the second in line, $8,200 for the town truck.
I think of that.
Okay, we have a motion and second, and any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, 3, 4, 1 against. All right, you have your direction, Ram?
Got it.
Grant Administrator. Hello there. Should we lower that? Oh, you got it. Okay.
Very good. Good evening, Karen Hatcher. Grants update, relatively brief, hopefully. So a couple of pieces and to touch on that, some things Josh said. I need to get clear. First thing, FEMA PA. We've scheduled site inspections with our FEMA contacts, our federal FEMA folks, for next week. They're coming in on Monday for a planning meeting to solidify, but we've got 3 days of inspections. Our integrity group consultants are also coming in because they have been central to the damage inventory and getting everything lined up. So Gary Smith, who's heading up that team, will be with them, and also Michael Bingham, our road foreman, thank you. Yeah, so, and as a reminder, FEMA is inspecting those sites that are outside of the Brook Road right of way. So it would be Cameron and Gore and Maxfield and Lee and Recreation Field Road. How'd I do that for me?
Very good. So,
All those in the minutes. please.
so just so we're clear, the side roads are FEMA
There.
and the Brook Road still is federal highway. So they're two different granting organizations we're working with.
And two
Okay.
different processes.
And two different processes,
Yeah.
two different lists of damage.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So
Okay.
that's on the FEMA side. So that's big progress. That's a
That's big,
big step
yeah.
forward.
Great.
Because then it allows us to start to estimate actually how much money FEMA will give us to get those repairs done. And the scope of all of that. So that's FEMA PA, Federal Highway, which Josh reported on, lots of big progress in that area as well, with the identification of the 12 different project areas along Brook Road and the paperwork sorting for DDIRs, just DDI in one, DDIRs in another. But getting all that paperwork done, Josh has been heading that up. Yes, darling.
DDI,
Yeah, damage-
DDIR.
Detailed damage inventory, and damage inventory. So damage inventory for FEMA,
Thank you.
detailed damage inventory report for Federal Highway. All of it is just tracking all of the damage and then all of what the emergency repairs were. So everything from, you know, which equipment was used, how many hours, who brought it in, what was it? And what did it cover from which GPS coordinate to which GPS coordinate? So all of that, a lot of work. And Josh has been heading that up and we've been supporting to get that work finished. Our goal is by the end of the week to get all this done. And what that then allows is for the next step, which is the Municipal Assistance Bureau piece, which is hiring, putting the RFP out through the at the ready list and hiring an engineering firm, a project manager, to be able to then start the process of hiring the design people and really doing all of the design work to be able to, again, give us a cost of what those repairs and what the options are on those repairs. And then there's a whole process in that system for public hearings and alternatives and that. And we are, to Michael Billings' question, are coordinating with the grant that we have out for the study of the Great Brook, which is the Advanced Systems Grant for the study, the hydrology, and it's an H&H. I'm not sure what the other H is, but somebody else knows that. It's good. But if the study of the brook, we're trying to get the timing to work so that that study is done in a timing that allows the engineers to actually use it, to be able to make good design choices. And
On the bridge.
Right,
Yeah.
for the whole road. So that's in the works. Okay. Carl and I attended a meeting last week, where we were supposed to hear about draft of the draft plan for funding for something called, I won't do the acronym, Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery. It's a $68 million pot of money that came to Vermont. 58 million of it designated for Lamoille and Washington counties. We were supposed to hear how they were planning to allocate those funds. What we heard instead was that they're still figuring it out. That HUD hasn't decided. But we were encouraged that the Plainfield question has been elevated to the folks in DC at HUD to make sure that we're a part of that funding because sorry. DR funding that comes this way usually follows a disaster declaration about 18 months on. So this is for the disaster declaration 4720, which was the 2023 flood.
Mhm.
Barry, Montpelier took hard hits during those floods, right? We did not. However, we did have damage and we had a lot of damage 2024. Everybody knows that. So they are going to bat for us to try to figure out how to get us a good part of the pot. But we're keeping our expectations reasonable at this point, and to say that those funds, when they do come, do not require a match. And they are primarily for affordable housing and infrastructure and some community buildings. But can also be used as federal matching money on federal grants, which we may well need because we are probably going to have somewhere in the vicinity of $20 to $35 million worth of infrastructure repairs by the time we're all through. So figure we need matching funds for that. Okay. Not today, not tomorrow, at some point, we will
Yeah.
figure it out. Okay.
And they did say that if things go well, we might expect to see some kind of award in the fall.
It sounded more like by the end of the year.
Yeah, end of the year.
By the end of
Okay.
the year,
Okay.
so, but we're hoping at the beginning of April to have clarity. And they're bringing some folks in from DC, they want to tour them through Plainfield when they're here, which is good for us, so, so that's that. Just a couple of other things, small grant, working with the, Recreation and Public Arts Committee, we just submitted a grant for planning, just $5,000, but it is, Jesse Cooper and I worked on it to be able to do some planning around some public art commemorating the flood and the resilience of the community down at the area where the Heartbreak is. And so we just submitted that yesterday, and hopefully they'll ask us for a full proposal.
Great.
Yeah, and there's other stuff going on, but there's always stuff. But those are kind of the highlights of where we are,
Great.
in case you have any questions.
Any questions from the board? Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Oh,
Michael
Oh.
Billingsley.
Michael?
oh, and
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a little coda on the end of that to say that there was, as you will recall, as part of our granting process, a AmeriCorps grant that was eventually withdrawn so that I could hire an assistant. And the funding committee and Karen have decided to fund that position through a grant we've already received from the Vermont Community Foundation. And that new employee, if everything goes well and I can work it out with Bram and Carol, will begin on April 7th as well. So for after a year of trying, I might eventually get an assistant with the help of the Vermont Community Foundation.
Thanks.
Dylan's.
And Dylan, you still have your hand up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to let you guys know that $200 over max bid was up to $4,500. So not a dollar more than 4,500. So 8201 is the winner.
Thank you for that clarification. We probably should well, I don't know if we have to modify the,
I think it's just saved a phone call.
yeah. Thank you, Dylan. And also I should mention to the public, based on Karen's report, there could be a lot of money coming into town, we're hoping. But it's also, there's a lot of public discussion about all these funds, which are going to replace the damage that we've had. And so I just want people to understand that there's required meetings, public hearings and so forth. So if you're thinking you're not sure what's going on, we'll be having informational meetings. Yeah, I just want people to know that it's a very slow process. Yeah, this will be years and probably in the works, but
Another thing I have to mention, and that is one of the most really exciting things that happened this week is we had a meeting with the folks from the Regional Planning Commission, and they are going to partner with us.
oh, right.
And this is not going to cost us a penny at this point. So they're going to partner with us on the federal highway process to help manage the process of the process, if you will. So they have expertise. Keith Cubbin is a transportation and emergency management specialist, and they are deploying him to us to help us with all of the 12 projects of paperwork and management of getting the folks on board and getting the projects managed. So that was a huge win this week, and we're really excited about that extra help.
And that takes a load off the very overworked office. So we're very happy for that and grateful for that. Okay. Good. Accessibility Commission, formation and appointments.
I mean, I can introduce this.
Yeah, please.
Coming out of town meeting, there were, legitimate concerns, calls in to make Plainfield public events, Plainfield town official events more accessible to all bodies, to all minds, to all immune systems. The select board at a previous meeting put out a call publicly for anyone who was interested in applying an attuned lens to the question of accessibility or the problem, the challenge of accessibility. We know there's no panacea solution. We're constrained in many ways. Nevertheless, there's progress that can be made. And so we have a seed group to form the beginning of this commission. Admittedly, there's some question about whether or not this is a committee or a commission. I'm not sure. We don't know.
Oh,
Josh has a feeling.
I think it has to be committee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the accessibility committee is here. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can pause there for questions, comments, and then we can get on to our appointments thereafter.
Can you tell us what their focus, what the committee would be focused on? Just like you kind of said at the beginning, but
So for example, our request to you, anyone speaking here tonight, the request to use the microphone. I think it ought be policy effectively that we support the committee in making policy, that anyone who requests the mic to be brought to them for whatever reason, if accessibility is not theirs or yours to like stand, rise, walk across the room, if that's not a casual thing for you,
Mhm.
that we want to help all people feel better heard in these meetings, at town meeting, at select board hearings, and, you know, all town functions, all town official business and events, town buildings. The lip that makes this building hard to access by wheelchair, that fix is on the way. There's gonna be like a little ramp to help wheelchairs get up and over the
Threshold.
the threshold to this building. These are little solutions that are within our means to do something about. And this committee is going to, focus on what are the solutions that are most available, what are those that are secondarily available and how we can angle toward, and those that are further out, but those we should be thinking about anyway.
Mhm.
Michael Billings, do that.
Any thoughts from the board? Michael?
Hi, I just thought it would be worth noting that the accessibility to town hall has been really considerably high focus for the informal Plainfield Arts and myself. And one of the great gifts that we had was to be able to do things like put in air, the beginnings of an air cooling system, generator, and things like a defibrillator and things that are still on the way, but including getting and specifying the sill that Francis Rose just described. But we only had 40,000 or a little less than that to work from. So we're hoping also that with the recommendations of this accessibility group, that and Plainfield Arts can work in partnerships so that when the and I'm certainly going to be available to advise and assist as well, but that it would become a collaborative project between all of the stakeholders at Town Hall and in the other municipal building as well, because that also has some accessibility issues. And so I'm really glad to hear that this is happening, and I support it completely.
Thanks. I would just like to point out that Francis Rose and some volunteers created some air cleaning boxes. You want to describe what those are?
Sure, these are Corsi Rosenthal boxes. They're the shadow here. The reason they're not on right now is because the noise created by them make it more difficult to hear, especially for those hard of hearing and those sensitive to mechanical noise. And so this gets into the nuance of why this is challenging. Nevertheless, this is also an emergency shelter. This building is this town's emergency shelter. We ought, in my opinion, be prepared to be able to reduce the spread of contagion in an emergency situation here and use these employees boxes at times when it's okay to do that. And this is all of us getting together up to a greater speed about contending with these complex issues.
Great. Do you need is this going to require any kind of action right now? Or are you looking
Yeah,
for volunteers?
We're making.
Well,
the
I saw a
plans.
hand in the back. I just want to make sure that
Oh, I didn't
Jake
see it.
didn't still have a hand up. And if he does, he has to come up to the microphone.
Sorry, didn't mean to
Yeah.
throw that at you.
And then, yeah, we do need to make probably a motion to create the committee and then motions to appoint.
Yeah,
Appointments that I would
Yeah.
like to.
Yeah, you can just push it up probably. There you go.
I'm not volunteering, sorry, but I just wanted to say thank you, because we're a small town with a lot of big problems right now, and it is just deeply appreciated that you guys are still focusing on trying to find ways to make sure everyone's voice is carried. So, thank you.
thanks. Thank you.
So I think, and Francis, we're happy to have you do the motion. I think the motion would be just to form a Plainfield Town Accessibility Committee.
Shall we do the appointments at the same time?
Well, I think we should probably create the committee and then do
Yeah.
appointments, and we have to probably figure out. And is the term a year? What's the, we're supposed to, typically you're supposed to have a term to go with an appointment.
Perhaps we hear from invite any of those
Mhm.
who wish to be appointed to the committee to speak at all, including if you would like no pressure to speak if you like, and also your thoughts on appointment term. Thank you.
Well, could we, or the other choice would be to get together and then create the rules that you'd like to follow, and then when we bring it back to the select board, we could have a, form it officially, unless we think we can.
I think we can form an official committee. I make a motion to convene, to invite, what is it? Is it convening? Is it a?
To form
The creation,
Plainfield
the
Town
creation, the
Accessibility. Committee.
formation
Yeah, sure,
of an
Yeah.
accessibility committee for the town of Plainfield.
Second.
okay. And the rules of that committee are developed by the committee, I think.
Yeah.
With the rules
Yeah.
of that committee
Yeah.
and purpose and scope
Yep.
developed by said committee.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I did, yeah.
Oh, thank you. All those in favor of forming this committee, say aye.
I,
Thank you very much. So you'll keep us informed of what's going on with that committee.
True, I mean, appointments to come, like right now.
yeah. So I guess, Francis Rose, unless there's a reason to do longer, I mean, 1-year appointment's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So people can also just step down if they've decided that they don't want to serve longer than whatever. So just so we have a term.
Sure, I'm at ease about
All
it.
right.
Okay.
Do you have a list of appointees?
I do, 3.
Okay.
Motion to appoint Don Fancher, Mary Lane, and Alicia Weiss to the Plainfield Accessibility Committee.
Second.
All right. Thank you for that. All those in favor, say aye.
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 And thank you.
Michael Handa.
Michael, is this on this point?
Absolutely. I wanted to
Hey.
also make the first public announcement of the fact that we are hosting, the Hazard Mitigation Committee is hosting a disabilities forum in the town hall on the 1st of June. This is something we've been planning for 1.5 years about disasters and disabilities and the use of a public building like the town hall for people with disabilities. So it's really also extremely helpful that this committee is being formed so that we can collaborate with them in terms of making that event as 100% as accessible as it can be for all of the various households that might want to participate.
Thank you.
And then I would invite Don, Mary, and or Alicia to say any words that are coming to you, if any, right now.
This is Dawn Fancher. I'll go first. I just want to thank everyone for thinking of me. I tried to listen into select board meetings, but I missed the one where they put that call out. So I'm glad that people came and found me. This is something I've been interested in for a long time. I've sometimes been a bit of a gadfly. Look forward to the opportunity to doing constructive work on this. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Don.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll talk next. I'm Alicia Weiss. You've probably heard about me talking about accessibility at one meeting or another. Certainly Michael's heard more than he probably even wants to, but I've been working in the disability and accessibility field for 20 years, on the physical, physical and the technology and the educational and the advocacy and I really am grateful for the chance to bring that work to this town. I'd been out of state for work for a number of years, came back, started attending meetings and thought, how can I most meaningfully contribute? Because, hey, this town ain't gonna run itself, which is something I've really learned from all the wonderful work that all the people here have done. So I'm very happy to be working with Mary and Dawn.
Great.
Alicia.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mary?
I guess it's my turn. This is Mary Lane. I came to this because I went to, I didn't want to go to town, well, I couldn't go to town meeting technically. And because I have a seriously broken ankle. And I found out that the floor votes, you couldn't vote, you couldn't do that in absentia. You had to be at the town meeting. So I got there and I said I could only be there an hour. It turned into 3. and it was really a hardship. So that was my kind of impetus for thinking that, and there's many other, I'm sure, issues that we can come up with many various kinds of disabilities. So I'm excited too, to get it going and to work with Alicia and Don.
Thank you for stepping in. That'll be very interesting to see how we can proceed.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the letter to Public Safety Commissioner.
Yeah, the nature of this letter comes from, in Vermont state government, the Public Safety Commissioner oversees the Vermont State Police. And I requested the select board write a letter to the Public Safety Commissioner regarding the outcome of the incident in which our town employee was grievously injured by a reckless driver. A cursory look at the facts of the case would suggest that something went terribly wrong in the outcome. And I put together a draft of a letter which one of the select board members greatly improved. And I would like, unfortunately, in my rushing to the meeting, I printed out the letter, but I did not put it in the envelope with the 65,000 other things. So I don't know if Dan might have a copy, if you want to read it or not.
Yeah.
Essentially, well, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm happy to read it.
Thanks.
And I only edited it very little compared to what Bram wrote, but Commissioner Morrison, this summer an incident occurred which has had a lasting impact on our community. Unfortunately, the state police response was woefully inadequate. The result of the law enforcement investigation speaks for itself. The perpetrator most likely committed several serious offenses, fleeing the scene of an accident, driving without a license, driving under the influence, obstructing an investigation, lying to police, and hiding evidence. Despite being immediately identified by the victim and directed to an address, no action was taken for a week. The perpetrator ended up being sanctioned with a $100 fine and a 1-month suspension on his driver's license. The outcome for our town employee was very different. He suffered life-changing injuries which have permanently impacted his ability to work and provide for his young family. He recently lost his vehicle as the injury made it impossible to make his payments. This tragedy is compounded by a huge cost to Plainfield taxpayers, tens of thousands of dollars in equipment damage, a valuable employee sidelined indefinitely, and hours of town employees filing paperwork. We understand police officers face an extremely difficult job, and it is known there are many staffing challenges in law enforcement and the state police particularly. However, we also believe that, given the gravity of the work, catastrophic errors need to be addressed appropriately. We want your office to conduct an investigation of this incident. If the review shows grievous errors, sanction those responsible and publish the results of the inquiry. It is corrosive to the community's trust in the rule of law when a valued member of the town of Plainfield does not get justice for the harm that has been done to him. We look forward to hearing updates on the investigation of this case. Please let us know if there's additional information you need from the town staff to assist you. The Plainfield Select Board.
That was well put, both of you.
Yeah, thank you, Bram, for continuing to champion this forward. And
Do we need do you want me to get authorized to sign this, or one of us authorized to sign this? Because it is from the select board.
Yeah, so we need to, authorize to sign and send.
motion to authorize Carl Bissix to sign this letter to the state police on behalf of the select board.
State Public
Safety Commissioner.
Public Safety Commissioner.
who oversees.
Yeah, yeah, right. Is there a second? Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I'll sign that tomorrow when I come in.
Will you, Bram, when you send it, also either maybe electronically send copies to our state rep and senators?
Absolutely, sure.
Thank you.
All right. 79 Bean Road. status of that. Do you want to talk to that?
Peter was here. Peter was here. I don't see Peter. here.
Oh, he was here?
He was here.
Was
Oh.
Ryan on?
Ryan is on, I believe. He was.
We're trying to see if Peter Young
Yeah,
is still with us.
go ahead.
I don't see him.
Peter Yassis was here,
Oh, Peter Yassis.
but I don't see Peter Yassis now.
Ryan, you wanna speak?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You wanna go ahead and speak, start?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak. I think you were all just asking the same question I was asking, which is the dog warden here?
It would appear not anymore.
He was on the Zoom at one point.
Is there any way to get a hold of him?
I don't know. Do you have a?
I can check.
Do we want to move to just flip the order of these two items
Yeah, we can do that.
while we try to get a hold of? I see multiple people trying to get a hold of him. Is that okay, Ken? That's fine. All right.
Yeah. Okay, we're trying to reach him. We're gonna jump ahead to the East Village Expansion Committee formation. And then come back to
I want
that.
to just tell people there are copies of the post committee, hard copies here in the room if people want to look at it.
There are hard copies in the room. Yes,
The proposal.
of the, yeah.
Yeah, but. Thank you.
You're welcome. Peter is coming in now.
Okay,
Shall we be in row?
I'm, okay. Okay, I guess we didn't really get started, but I don't want to take too much time waiting.
No, he's right here.
Oh, he's right there. Peter, thank you for coming back.
All right, yeah.
Can you give us an update on what you know and what's going on at Bean Road?
All right now, I've been dealing with that guy Devin. He's been constantly texting me about things and saying that everything is a lie and that there's no proof about whatever's going on with all the accusations. I told him to get on this meeting to answer some things. And what he had sent me earlier, I guess about a week or so ago, was a picture in the text message of a crumbled form of a rabies vaccination sheet. From the picture, I couldn't tell too many specifics, but now he tells me he doesn't have the paperwork and he can't bring it to the town clerk's office tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday. And now he's telling me I didn't tell him that he needed the paperwork. And I'm like, I think you're playing games. And he said to me, this whole thing is ridiculous. And I said, you sound like you never had a dog before and you never went and got a dog officially registered in the town of Plainfield before. And he's now texting me about something else. So I walked away and figured I'd join the meeting here and tell you this. So this guy is starting to become a problem for me personally.
Huh. Sounds fairly typical.
Can I?
Go ahead, Kim.
Hi.
Hey, speak closer.
You gotta get into the microphone.
Hi, I wanna know, have you made any effort to get that dog?
I cannot retrieve the dog and impound the dog.
Why?
2 reasons. The sheriff had told me I cannot go on his property without a warrant. Second, I would have to get the dog in the street if it's loose. And third, I have no place to bring it because the places that I talk to, they will not accept this dog.
Okay, I looked over the special dog meeting video, and it was not said that you have to have a warrant to go on that property because the dog is inflicting fear and harm. You have every right, and I don't know the other things. The dog does not have to be in the street. And then even when the dog is home, I have called you and you've not returned my call for me telling you to come.
I work all day and I cannot appear on the street within 10 seconds.
No, I understand.
You know, I
that.
got a life out here besides Plainfield.
I understand that, but I was told that when I saw that dog, that I was to call you and.
Well, my last email to everybody in the chains was to get pictures of this dog on your property walking around loose. He tells me that no, those are lies. The dog is tethered, the dog is chained, the dog is secure. And I said to him, well, I'm getting complaints from everybody on the block there. And he's telling me another story and he's accusing me now of telling him lies and trying to get him in trouble. So I do not need problems like this.
When the dog went over to Ryan's, because I went by, the dog was standing in the middle of the road. This was after the attack at Ryan's house. Devin's car was not there. Within less than 5 minutes, I got home and walked into my house and turned around. Devin pulled in. He went and got the dog and saw it standing in the middle of the road and got it because he was tangled around a car and a tree. And then he hitched him back up.
Tim, can you direct it this way?
Well, if you want Carl to hear you, you gotta do it this way.
Yeah, and also, we're just trying to get information. Have you been keeping track of the dates and time, any pictures?
No, because we were told we cannot take pictures.
What?
Because that would be as if we are spying on them.
No, pictures in the road. would
If
be
he's in the
different than
road,
pictures of
you
his
can take
property.
pictures. If he's in your yard, if he's in the road.
Had said, we were told before that we would be spying on them and they could get us for privacy.
If he's in the road, you have every right. And I do remember that the sheriff said that Peter can't go on the property without a warrant. Now, he was sitting right there and he said it was.
Yeah, but I went through the video. That
Okay.
He sent.
Yeah.
There was nothing said there had to be a warrant from that March 1st meeting.
I don't know. Does anyone else remember?
Hey, Carl, can I weigh in on this? I also went back and watched the video and
Yeah,
Kim
sure.
Kim is right. The Chris Keast, the town constable, said, according to, it wasn't clear what he was reading. I think it was town ordinance. He said the dog warden or the town constable can go on the property and retrieve an animal in the interest of public safety. The sheriff then weighed in and said, you'll want to make sure that's in compliance with state law. But the statement the only statement I heard was that we actually can. So I would recommend the select board do whatever research they want, but according to the town constable, you absolutely can go on the property. You just can't go in the house. You need a warrant to go in the house.
I remember not being able to go behind the house for some reason. I'll check back on it. I'll check with.
I think it was a bit unclear, but regardless, I think we're now into a point of a little bit of liability risk to the town, because ultimately you're going against the town ordinance, which says you can do this, choosing to not do this, and we've already had somebody get seriously injured. So I would actually just hope that there's other neighbors on here that probably don't know what's happening here. So I think we should sort of start from the beginning. There was a meeting on February 24th where this was reported to the select board, the dog attack with the bite of the jogger. And then there was a town hearing on 3/1 and decisions were made in that meeting and actions haven't been followed up on since that meeting. So I think it'd be in the interest of the community if the select board can just sort of review what's happened, just so all the other neighbors understand. So can we just start with that?
That makes sense, everybody? I mean, we can talk about this. This has been going on for 4 years. Not the dog part, but
Well, I think this is about the dog part, right now.
Yeah, okay, the dog part.
So what did the select board decide on? So neither Francis Rose nor I were there. What did the select board decide And what was your motion or ruling at the hearing on March 1st?
We asked Peter to get the dog, impound the dog.
Here's your notes, final decisions and next steps. from that.
Oh, great, thank you.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Graham. Let me look at this.
So just to be very clear, the select board authorized the animal control officer to impound the dog for failure to register and prove the dog has rabies.
Right.
That was the context. In other words, it didn't directly relate to the bite incident because of some reporting, but I would note that this individual has promised on numerous occasions to register the dog and nothing has come of it.
Thank you.
So at present, I think that the message to the community is that the select board has authorized the animal control officer to impound the dog.
Okay. Patty, you want to say something?
You said they don't have room for this dog. You said they don't have a space for this dog.
Peter?
Anywhere to put it.
I couldn't hear what she said.
Peter, she's asking, when you said they won't take this dog, like places we would take it for impoundment.
This dog.
Why this? Is it because, will they take no dogs, or will they won't take this specific dog?
The contract that supposedly we have is with Central Vermont Humane Society. I spoke to the lady there, our main contact. I think it's Kimberly. And she said we could not take this dog that had no rabies shots or not registered. And being a pit bull too, she said they couldn't take something like that. And plus, at the time of this incident in February and first week of March, she could not take in a dog. They were full. So then I started calling other AOCs. A friend of mine in Calais recommended this place, the Random Rescue, which is run by a relative. And that lady had not gotten back to us. When Chris Keist and myself went to the neighborhood there, we spoke with Devin, we spoke with Ryan, and we were going to try and find a place that would take in this dog. I then got the sheriff involved saying, how am I going to get this dog if it's attacking me? He made a comment about pepper spray. And I said, do you have a stun gun? Will you be there to back me up? Would you be able to help me if I had the constable and myself there? And he says, no. So I said, great. Now what are we going to do? I do not have the equipment. The only thing I got from the town was a pen crate and a rusted old lasso hoop that doesn't work. So what kind of protection will I have against a dog like this that's going to try to bite us? I mean, if it's loose in the road, yeah, I could throw a sandwich in the crate and see if the dog goes in the crate. Now, the other question that really was bothering me was, where am I going to bring the dog? I have no place to bring the dog. I can't hold the dog. I've got kids in this area, you know, and so I know it was proposed that we should go out of state, perhaps find another service that will come from out of state and do this. But I was also told by the sheriff that we should have a contract set up to make it all official, because otherwise they'll take the dog. Maybe they'll kill him. Maybe they'll give him away. Who knows? So
Peter,
I don't have the time to officially look into every aspect of who is going to be available to take in this dog.
Hey, Peter, just with all the respect, I understand the safety concern there, but you've signed up to be the dog warden, you know, whereas
then
the
I'll
neighborhood
resign
children,
right now.
well, I'm just making a fair point here. The neighborhood children did not, right? They just want to go outdoors. And, you know, we've had more safety concerns,
That's
so I'm
understood.
not, it's not that, you know, I have sympathy for, I mean, I've been trapped in my blueberry patch. I've been trapped at my mailbox. The Nolans have been trapped in their garage. I mean, the list goes on and on. And just to be clear, I have provided photographs, which is not a great idea. You know, when you're in a face-off with a pit bull, pulling out your phone is probably the last thing you want to do. But I'd rather get, you know, myself bitten and get a photo of it than, you know, have a neighborhood kid. You know, so I
Right,
mean,
I'm just saying
but
saying
just
that
Peter, I'm
between-
just if I could just finish here, Peter, I
Yeah.
did provide you with those photographs. So, and you have those.
no,
And
where
well,
are they? I
in
never saw
your
any.
your email box, we re-forwarded them to you and the select board 2 weeks ago as well. These are from July of last year.
I've looked at all my mails. I didn't see it, so I can look again. Maybe it
Select
got
board,
into
can you
spam.
can the select board confirm that they got those emails?
If you sent it to me, I did not get those emails, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, I never got any pictures from you either. Like if you send it to all of us.
I've sent them. Sarah sent them. I'll re-forward from that trail so you can see the trail if you like.
And we'll just check the spam. I mean, maybe if there's a bunch of attachments, maybe our spam filter is catching it. Since we're all on the same kind of account, so, but no, I've definitely not seen any pictures from you, Ryan.
I haven't either.
Point of information. Point of information.
Ryan did bring up a good point though, in one of his emails to me. He mentioned game warden. Now, if we can get the sheriff and a game warden to go with Chris and myself, then I'm sure we could do something in a reasonably safe fashion and get this dog impounded to us. But my next question would be to who I guess the town clerk, which is Bram, where are we gonna bring the dog?
Point of information.
Go ahead, Michael. And
I had-
Graham, and you can-
I wonder if anybody else remembers, when the sheriff was here discussing this, I asked the sheriff point blank if there was staff on his sheriff's staff that would accompany our constable or our officer, animal officer, and he said yes. So can we hold him to that? Is that something that can be found in record and we can hold him to help Peter?
I think in the video, he said no. Double check.
we can check. I'll get a check with him anyway.
So just so we know action items, you're gonna call the sheriff and
yeah.
just check in what our rights are to be there, maybe have some assistance.
Yep,
Um,
and if there's any space that or any way they deal with animals that
Yeah.
have to be boarded. We do have I think, Sean Fowler is still our game warden, no? Okay,
He's really high up now.
It's a younger guy, his last name's Cersei.
okay, I don't know who it is. Okay, I'll have to
But-
see if I can find out.
But again, we still have the problem of where to put
Where
the
to
dog.
take the dog, yeah.
And so since I know our town staff is pretty overloaded, I'm happy to do a little research and see if we can find. I can check in with some other select boards and other folks to see who they use, including City of Montpelier, City of Barry, Waterbury, and just see if we can find somewhere else to
Yeah,
send the dog, if
That'd
that's
be-
okay.
that'd be great. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then Adam.
Adam,
Yes, thanks.
Adam?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm just chiming in as a concerned citizen and concerned neighbor. My wife and I, we have 6 kids and we are neighbors to this property. And this is a very important issue to us and we're very concerned about it. I thank the town for doing what it can going forward. And just that I reiterate what Ryan said too about the liability concern for the town. I'm concerned for my kids. I'm concerned for the town there. The town certainly can't say at this point that it has no notice of this. So if there's another dog bite incident, and this isn't just speculative. There's already been a dog bite. And so this is a serious thing. I know you know that, and thank you for prioritizing it among many other big issues in the town.
We'll be following up with the sheriff, and Dan's gonna follow up with other select boards to see what
I can tell you
availability
what
is.
Lowell, Vermont.
That's the town, is there a thing
His
in
last name
Lowell?
is Pion.
Eon?
Yeah, Pion. First name is Darren. He's had the same situation. And he will take the dog right to his house.
All right, I guess we'll have to report back next time, but with that, we'll take action on it.
Well, and
I can't imagine how many thousands of dollars this has cost.
I know.
the town.
we, but with the order, we already have to impound the dog and everything. Like,
Yes,
when we figure it out, we can just act.
we
not-
can act, yeah,
hopefully.
but I need
Yeah.
to check with the sheriff, 'cause
Yeah.
I heard something a little different. I just want to be sure I'm clear on what the law is, and that we have to find out where it can go.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll leave it there. Next item is the East Village Expansion Committee formation.
I do want to note
Oh.
that during that last item, select board member Peter Youngbear joined us on Zoom.
Oh, great. Hi, Peter.
Welcome, Peter.
And I want to thank Peter Yasus.
Yeah, not an easy job.
All right. I'm trying, but now, like I said, I'm running into difficulties with this person, Devin. He's starting to get a little wise ass with me. And I really now I feel like he did not get the rabies shot. And I think he sent me a bogus picture of this receipt, because now he says to me he does not have the paperwork. And I said, how can you get the dog register if you don't have the paperwork? You can't just show up to the town clerk and show him a metal tag that says, yeah, this is the tag number. So I got the feeling he's trying to pull a fast one on me.
Yep, sounds like it.
Peter Youngbear has his hand up.
Oh, Peter? Young Bear?
I would just point out that we have the zoning violation court order with the order to vacate the premises by the 28th, which is just a few days from now. And that I spoke to our attorney about this, the follow-up to that. And if he complies, then he will be gone and the dog will be gone. If he does not comply, then we have the continuation of the violation on the dog, but then we also have to begin proceedings, contempt proceedings in court on the, RV still being on site. But I would hope that Devin will comply with the court order and he and dog will be gone on the 28th, but we shall see.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to move on to the East Village Expansion Committee formation. We asked, because of the vote at the town meeting, we asked for folks who are willing to join a committee that's a public and board sanctioned committee. Dan made a great questionnaire for people. We had how many?
32.
32 responses. Several have pulled back. But we're thinking that we want to try to create a committee of 11, possibly a little more, depending on where we find we are. We are going to, we have the group, Francis Rose and I developed a list of people which we want to talk to. We haven't done that yet. We're going to have a special meeting next Monday to have the people that are still agreeing to be on the committee and who we feel would be good matches for this committee. It's important for us to be have all sides represented. It's also important for us to not let the amazing amount of work that's been done go and start over. That would be ridiculous. So we are going to have some folks from the committee that have been working all this time on developing this plan. We're also having some neighbors and some other people with special expertise on this committee to give us the best and quickest result that will allow us to decide how to move the next step. So our expectation on our plan is to talk to all these individuals this week essentially interview them, and we'd hope to have one or two board members in that discussion. And with each person individually, and then come up with a list that we can announce next Monday and have them have their first meeting with us here, but we would need them to organize their committee and develop the basic format of the committee and the plan, did you have a thought?
Well, we're appointing next week.
We're appointing.
They're not having their first meeting next week.
Well, there was some discussion about perhaps letting them have it.
But what if we disagree about who to appoint? Who do we know to invite?
Yeah. That's when the interviews this week.
Well, no, I imagine.
Okay, no,
doing them both on the same night seems.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. I mean, I did not hear that part of the plan.
Yeah, it's not an official part. It was just sort of a discussion.
Wanted to ask for
Yeah,
clarification.
yeah.
Are you saying you're gonna interview people and then invite the people you just decide here then on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, not the whole list, okay.
Yeah. Not the whole
So
list.
they're gonna know
The-
before they're gonna know who's been chosen. before the
Yes,
meeting.
yes. And we would look for help if you'd like
Yeah,
to talk to folks. The mission is still, as far as we're concerned, is the same. Thank you. We're gonna develop a financially feasible plan for the select board to implement that will create infrastructure and sellable lots for a new neighborhood east of the current lower village on the 23.9 acres of land currently owned by Strings Investments LLC and Pigeon Pond LLC with the following goals. And here are the goals. And I better, it's dark enough in here, so I gotta do this. Rehouse those affected by the flood of July 23 and 24. Provide additional affordable housing amidst Vermont's housing crisis. Include a mix of single-family homes, multiplexes, tiny homes and apartments. Revitalize the town, prioritizing flood displaced and other Plainfield residents. Restore lost tax base. Expand the water and wastewater user base. Determine a timeline according to what makes the most sense logically, ecologically, and financially. Place infrastructure as early as possible so that buyers can design and construct homes as early as possible. Be cost neutral to the town. Create public and common and open space and paths that enrich the lives of Plainfield residents. The Expansion Advisory Committee aims not to reassess, but continue with the trajectory of the working group's work to welcome displaced neighbors back to Plainfield. The EVEAC shall build upon the work of the Village Expansion Steering Committee using the most recent evolution of the draft neighborhood designs created in the February 8th Community Design Workshop as a foundation, and to be further refined through significant public input. The EVEAC shall respond to any significant issues or obstacles identified through the local, regional, and state review process by ensuring public input into any necessary revisions. That's the basic goal. Do we want to keep reading or?
No, so I think these are circulating physically in this room.
Yes, right.
These are now also digitally in the chat of the Zoom. If it's not Zoom land, let us know.
I think this is the guiding mission, and I hope that feels reasonable to everybody. Bram, you have a question?
That's the Zoom link. It was just the note that's on.
Brent Tubman,
Okay.
town clerk.
The note in the chat
I
said
think
you just had the
that
Zoom link.
one addition
It's not-
to the overall
Yeah, that's what I copied.
thing that you read was that when it said town residents, I think that we need to include, there are people who have given a lot to this town, who happen to fall over the town line by, you know, quarter
Mhm.
mile, half a mile. So I think that perhaps you should add in that description something about people who've made significant contributions to the town.
In which part?
You went after, it said town residents and maybe say, and others.
Right, but which section are we talking about?
Goal number 4.
Goal number 4.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Revitalize the town, prioritizing flood-plains.
Well, we,
Renfield residents.
Yes.
Pleasant residents and those who have made significant contributions to the town.
okay. That's beyond even Marshfield, because we had talked
Yeah.
about Marshfield residents. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a long task to do, but I think talking to individuals who are interested, who have offered to join this group, they recognize it's going to be work, and but that's the mission that the select board would like to see achieved. Is there anything else to add?
We've got a couple comments. I don't know if you want to see if anyone has public input.
Yeah, does anyone on the board first have any thoughts here?
I'll say that this is a working copy. This,
Mhm.
there is no etched in stone here. This is where we're beginning. It exists. And so from here, you know, this document probably will evolve. This is the charter for the committee. And, yeah, each time it needs to evolve, it will.
Mhm.
Karen?
Yeah, Karen?
Karen Hatcher, so my question is, between now and the time this committee gets formulated and is on its feet, there's work being done. So is it your intention that the current steering committee as it is formed and the members of that group that are currently working on aspects of this plan should continue while this formation happens?
I mean, I can speak to that.
Go ahead.
So while the number of committee members right now is at 11, in this document, it is written as 11. Nevertheless, there are kind of tiers of participation. Committee members are those who are effectively most obligated to show up to make decisions on behalf of this project. Meanwhile, there are liaisons and there are working groups. The working group members don't need to be on the committee. There is an unlimited number of working group members allowed so long as it is at the behest and consent of the committee. Recognizing the committee does not yet exist, nevertheless, there is momentum, as you say, still. And so this is my personal opinion, I am considering the working groups still and continuing so that the threads are not simply dropped during this transition phase to the formalized committee through the town.
Mhm. That's our intention. Paula, way back.
Yes.
Bring your dog.
Thank you. Paula Emery, 2 things. One is you talked about cause and the other was a question about working groups. So you started, I'm curious about, they might be just things to flesh out. I don't want you to get into it now, but you do say that people can be terminated from the group for cause, but it's not really clear what cause is. Although later on it says that you have to show up to meetings. So, you know, like how many meetings in a row can you miss? Because we could do some serious damage by not following through on something you said you'd do.
That was the intention of that discussion. I'd like to leave it to the committee.
Yeah.
To develop that, but that would be, if somebody's taking a slot, but they're not coming to meetings and not contributing, then I'm not sure they have value to the group.
Okay.
So that's the basis of
So
that.
that could be a charge to the committee
Yeah.
chair to develop what exactly caused
I would
is.
prefer that personally, yeah,
And that, I guess the same goes for working group because,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
thank you.
and the proposal calls for 3 co-chairs so that there'd be a group that can work together on agendas and these kinds of issues and not just one person.
P.S. Thank you. It's really well written. It's great.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, for that. Okay, I guess that's, oh, I'm sorry, Lauren.
Charlie just read this one.
Charlie is in the,
Lauren, got it.
okay,
Logistics, and when you're meeting with the potential members of the advisory committee, would it be possible to assess whether they might be available for a specific date to get started so that we don't have to wait until after they're all appointed to set up a meeting? So just to say like April 1st or something like that, would you be available? Or, you know, when would you be available in the next week or 10 days? Just because there's so much work to do.
yeah.
Just want to keep it going and not have big gaps.
My thought is, we're gonna try to talk to all these folks who are candidates and probably some extras, and have them come to that Monday meeting.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's a yes and. I think
Yeah.
there is an opportunity and maybe a lost opportunity to, if you have been interviewed in the next week, to come to next week's meeting, the special meeting, the appointment meeting.
Oh, I see.
So there is an opportunity there that perhaps it would make sense to jump on. That said, if you want an additional meeting on April 1st or whatever the date is, I feel amenable to including that date in our information sharing to all those in the interview process.
Mhm. And I'm thinking that on that date, next Monday, that first kickoff meeting can be established by the group that's collected here, who we've interviewed. Yes,
Yeah, I would just say, once we've decided the 11, they should figure out when they're meeting, because like, as we know, like, some of us can't meet certain days of the week, other things, Mondays might not be good for everybody who's on it. I just think being too prescriptive feels like we're just setting up for problems, like someone saying, well, I can't do Monday, so I won't do the committee, where they should figure out what day of the week they're actually meeting and then what times.
yeah,
Okay, maybe just the expectation that there's gonna be a.
Meeting quickly, yes.
yeah,
And maybe asking what nights are better or what times,
yeah.
that might be better to help whoever the co-chairs end up being.
It's gonna be an effort, like this steering committee's been putting in. It's gonna continue that effort, maybe even more so, because as we come along and we get more information, people are gonna need to commit, so we want to make sure this group does. Sandy, did you have your hand up?
Well, Charlie did too, I think you.
Oh, okay. Okay, Charlie Cogwell?
Yeah, I'm very interested in the process by which people become members of this committee. Apparently, they're going to have to be appointed by the select board, but I hear that there are going to be interviews of potential people. I wonder if those interviews will be public. I wonder if those interviews will be a meeting of the select board, or will there be a committee, a hiring committee, to screen people that then make recommendations to the select board where the select board can act upon it?
I believe the 5 of us on the select board will be each trying to take some people to interview, given our schedules and the quick timeline. And so each of us will be interviewing folks and gathering information to bring back to the whole, and then making appointments based on that information.
Excuse me, that sounds like the select board as a group is doing interviews. The select board
No.
cannot act that way.
We are not as a group doing interviews. We will not be having a quorum in any interview.
Will you be having any discussion about the interviews? Will the interviews be public?
No.
No, it's too hard to do that. We just want to make sure that people are aware of how much time commitment they have. They've already said they're willing to do it. We would like to get a sense of what they bring to the table. Technical expertise, financial information, experience with housing, so forth.
And
I look forward to the discussion next Monday.
Okay.
Are we gonna move the actual document next Monday too, or are we doing that today?
I think we moved today. Also the tracking comments in the room.
Yeah.
Sandy, did you want to speak still? Sandy, yes? If you,
And then Karen.
Sandy Bitts-Toom, I look forward to continuing helping with this project through completion. I do not want to be pushy. I just want to remind the select board that this season tends to be light for excavating companies, and there is a very good chance that they could do work this fall and finish. I want to keep that possibility open without pushing it. In order to do that, the required things that have to happen before August really do require that this committee get going. And I really do hope that the select board could at least fix a time and day for the first meeting, hopefully also a second meeting, that after that, the committee could do whatever they want to do. But I'm concerned that if they find out who they are next Monday, that will be 2, possibly 3 weeks before they actually get going.
Yeah,
And
can't be that long.
I don't feel like I am managing state permit deadlines, the local zoning process, and even a federal permit deadline, and then a bid process that, I'm not, again, I do not want to push I just wanted you to be able to keep in mind that there's a big stack of sequential things to happen. And if you want to keep that as an option, then the committee does need to meet pretty soon.
Well, that's why we're having Monday's meeting, special meeting.
Right.
And so we're aware, we are aware of that.
And it's actually wanted to suggest that maybe the first meeting could be April 2nd,
Mhm.
Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And if people knew that was a possibility now, that they could put that on there, just to make sure that's.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay, thanks. Karen, you had a hand up.
I think I understood what Charlie was getting at, and I just want to see if what he's thinking is what I'm hearing. And that is, if you each are interviewing people individually, you're not going to have a chance to speak with one another about what you learned.
Right,
You're just going to come to a meeting and make appointments based on your own input without talking to each other. And I think there's a step that's missing, not like I want to add more time in here, but I think what Charlie's getting to is that, you know, if you each interview 3 or 4 people, or whatever that number is, or if you got it, whatever it is, how will you be able to make your recommendations to each other such that the formulation of the group covers all the bases that you're trying to cover? You know what I mean? So it's not just like you show up and you have a list of names, woo. But what if you have 3 people who have the same background and you're missing a whole bunch of other things, right? So it's, I think, I hear where Charlie's going, and it's like, you need to do this in public, but it's not just that. It's that, how will you be able to help each other and share the information so that we get the right mix of folks on this group?
We're open to suggestions because this is brand new to us too. But I think we are going to be talking about it in next Monday's meeting. What we've identified, what we've learned from these discussions with people.
So if I could recommend.
Yes.
That instead of coming in with a list of appointments, you come in with a list of nominees.
Mm-hmm.
And that you each to each other in the meeting publicly make the case for the people you would like to see appointed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then as a group come up with it together and in the public view. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? And then it's done, but then there is still a meeting date that's set, so if people accept the appointments that night, like you've come up with the list together, the appointments have been invited, if you will.
Mhm.
People have a chance to accept them or not, and there's a meeting date to Sandy's point, so things keep moving. But I think there's just that one piece that has to happen.
I think
in my mind.
I think your word of nominee is better than appointee.
Yeah.
For that reason, yes, it will be discussed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Peter?
I would make the motion that you read and that we establish this committee.
We haven't done that yet.
I know.
We have not actually read the motion.
Oh, we have to
You
read
said
it.
Carl started with the purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
If I may. I motion that we establish an advisory committee to the Plainfield Select Board to develop the various components of a financially feasible plan to design, fund, and create the infrastructure and sellable lots for a new neighborhood east of the current Lower Village on the 23-acre lot known as 68 East Hill Road, based upon the work of the ad hoc Plainfield Village Expansion Steering Committee, with the intention of bringing a vote to the town on or before July 11th. Name of the committee, East Village Expansion Advisory Committee, EVEAC.
EVOC.
EVIAC.
And we have a second?
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any,
I just need some time to get that into the,
do you want
my
to,
notes.
do you have it?
No, I have it here. It's just gonna take me one second.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I copied and pasted, but then added stuff, so.
I noticed the bond is no longer on the agenda. We want to like publicly acknowledge the bond. Question of the man.
Yeah, I don't know how it got off.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Can we do it next time? Lee?
No, I want to publicly
Do
acknowledge
it.
it. I wanna acknowledge
Okay,
it.
okay.
All right, and the second is Patty?
Seconds, Patty. Okay, we're establishing a committee, formally, all those in favor, say aye.
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 5, 4,
500,
5, yeah.
not 54,
Yeah,
500.
500, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will. Okay, we have, you had something to bring up.
There's like I thought we had on the agenda, the bond piece. I don't see the bond piece on the agenda. I thought we had the bond piece on the agenda.
The loan, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, loan.
this was the $150,000 unsecured loan.
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure. I
but
don't
this-
know about.
This is right now, I guess this is a public acknowledgement of that this question exists. It's quite all right. Things happen. I fell off somehow. I thought it was on there. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I never put it on. I thought I did.
Be there on.
This is a transparent moment. We just received a message from the town attorney today. That there is
No,
question.
not the town attorney,
No,
Vermont League of Cities or
this is-
Bond counsel,
Bond counsel.
bond counsel.
Eli Emerson.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bond counsel Eli Emerson is questioning the town's ability to receive this loan without a public vote. And this is not the 2.5 million, this is even the 150,000. And so that was something that landed in our inboxes today. Leading us to need, at the very least, a second opinion and or to solicit counsel beyond that, perhaps as well. But this is public acknowledgement of that.
Sandy?
Sorry, I've been writing the RFP for phase 2 engineering services with the idea that it would go out after that was approved. And the engineer is supposed to start work somewhere in the middle of April when the new committee is ready to direct that company. So that, just letting you know, that's another critical path item that has been.
We're gonna need, yeah, we're probably gonna need to get resolution on this. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and just so, and we're trying to figure out the information. So there, VLC, Vermont League of Cities and Town has a document saying what can towns vote on and what cannot towns vote on. And so we thought there were two different provisions on what, we didn't have to vote on it. Number 3 and number 9, one about it's before a bond, and the other about infrastructure, specifically some water, wastewater. And our bond counsel thinks that both those provisions don't apply in this situation. And so we have to get some more information about that.
Arian Boomery, I just, would welcome, as somebody who's been the primary contact with the Vermont Community Foundation related to this, I'd be more than happy to perhaps forward that on to them, because I know that we are not the only town that they ever lent money to or considered.
That'd be great feedback to get if you would
They
do
may
that.
have some ideas about this that I would like to.
Thank you.
Yes, please, and thank you.
We want to, this whole project, we want to do right and we want to do legally and we want to have it ethically done properly. I mean, all these things we're weighing. So thank you for that. We'll look forward to hearing from you.
Carl?
Oh, Peter and then
Peter, just
first,
sec,
and then
please.
Sandy.
Yeah, I had,
Okay, Peter.
I couldn't hear everything that Sandy Vitsium was saying at the microphone. That's not just her, it's anytime anyone uses that microphone, it's hard for me to hear on Zoom, but was she talking about having someone, an engineering firm lined up? And the reason I asked that question is because this is now becoming a public project, do we not have to put that out to bid?
She's standing right by the microphone and maybe you can get really close to it.
Can you hear me?
Peter? Can you hear her?
Come stand over here and just speak loud for the room.
Yeah.
They're right here. This is the
This is it.
microphone. You don't have to crouch at it. Just
It's
stand.
fine.
Okay.
So I am drafting the RFP and it's been determined that the RFP needs to follow Plainfield's procurement rules. And there are no further requirements from the state or the federal government at this time. So it is not a sealed bid because Plainfield suggests a request for proposals for engineers and professional services. I am not an expert on town processes, but I wonder if you could make a motion, like a proactive motion tonight, that if it is decided that you do have to have a vote for this loan, if you could start the process, just in case you do need to do it. Could you start the process tonight?
Thoughts from the board? Go ahead, Peter.
I just wanted to comment to Sandy. Thank you. I didn't mean bidding in a formal process, but the town procurement, such for example, as we've done recently with the seeking RFPs for the municipal project manager on Mill Street Bridge and the other Brook Road projects that are coming up. So I would think that's the same. Okay, thank you.
I don't know, did you hear her thought about creating a situation where if we have to go to a vote, a town vote, that we should prepare for it now? Did you hear that point?
I did. I'm not sure what it means.
I think she's trying to save time by, her suggestion is we save time by, I guess, having a motion.
Well, I think if
I appreciate the effort to save time. I just don't know that we know what we need to know in order to start that process.
Yeah, I think it's similar to the articles we had to create for the election, the town meeting election. We would have to create an article, have it vetted, and then vote on that specific article. I don't know that there's like a pre-vote that can happen, because we need to have a specific article in front of us, and it can't be provisional. It has to be an actual article. We'd have to figure out the warning periods and times for a vote and do those kinds of things. So, and we any bond or loan vote, we would also want to go to our bond council and make sure that we're wording things in a way that we can actually take the loan once we've voted on it.
Yeah.
Aaron Boomery, I would suggest that maybe we put that on the agenda for the special meeting next week to try.
I was gonna say, we can address that then.
Please.
And you're gonna get some information for us.
May we recognize Carol?
Carol?
Me, I'm right here.
Oh, so
I'm just gonna talk, I just wanna say that the water sewer has a big problem. A bond vote.
Oh,
And
so
it'd
that,
be very helpful to have one vote, so let's
yes,
make sure we coordinate, because water and sewer is
Thank you.
very important. as
thank
well.
you. That makes a lot of sense.
Do we have any,
Water. for this
do we have any
town.
sense on the
Timeline?
timeline for
Don't
them?
Right now, but it's in the process.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll pay attention to that. Okay, I want to move on. We still have constable candidates, introduce themselves. Dan, you're here. I don't know if Chris is here, but can we get you up to the microphone? If in case we have questions?
Doesn't seem to be working very well, but.
Yeah, you have to really get close. I think that's the trick.
I hate microphones, so you.
We want people to hear you on the
Yeah.
Zoom though,
Talk to the owl, right?
which means you have to talk into it.
I think you'll be fine if you're loud.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so quick, just like 2 minute, but 5 minute background, if you
No,
will.
I won't take up too much of everybody's time. It's been great discussion. Nice to see a lot of my neighbors here. I just wanted to thank the 5 of you on the select board for all the time you put into this. It can often be a thankless job, but I do appreciate the service. I've been a Plainfield resident for over a decade. I'm married. I have 3 kids. Daughter goes to Twinfield. I had a 20-year over 20-year background in the military service, serving and managing diverse populations from different cultures, different backgrounds, different personalities, and I'm trained in conflict resolution, mediation. I'm a certified equal opportunity leader, master resilience trainer, and obviously have that background of service and discipline. With loving this town, I've always just trying to find a way to give back more. Anytime we've had issues, floods, somebody needs help, needs a driveway graded, try to be there to help. So when I was asked if I'd be interested in throwing my hat in the ring for this, I said, okay, feel like my skill set's very well matched to it. I'm the kind of guy that you can send into a room full of 20 people that are all ready to fight each other, and I'll have them having a dance party in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So
I have a couple of questions. Is that
it's
kind of it?
more,
Okay. Questions. I like the conflict resolution part. I think it's really important that there's a calming effect, but a forceful calming effect. Do you have the time to be able to respond relatively quickly? Are you around, or, I mean, what's your status?
Live on Lower Road. My schedule's fairly open.
Okay,
That was one of the considerations before sending my letter of intent.
okay.
I
Yep.
think that, like you mentioned, you always want to resolve the conflict, but the best way to do that is coming from a position of strength.
Yep.
And go from there.
Mhm.
Also, I think I know there's a lot of our neighbors here that in town that have an aversion to law enforcement. So I think having somebody trusted within the community that if they have an issue, they can reach out to, it's not coming with an official law enforcement presence, would be a really great resource. And it's something I'd like to bring to the table.
Okay, question? We got a great letter from you, so we're able to see a lot of this. Yeah, okay, before we get to Michael, do you have a question, any questions, or? Patty, do you have any
I
questions?
think you have a really diverse background. I really.
Yeah, okay,
think you did a good job.
okay. Michael, quick thing?
I don't know why you say that every time when I speak, but anyway, I don't speak, I don't take up a lot of extra room. I wanted to say that on 2 occasions over the winter, I was faced with situations for doing interventions with emergency management, both of which could have involved people who were hostile or potentially hostile. One was an animal rescue, and Dan made himself available to accompany me and provide safety for myself and for our individual assistance coordinator. And very collaborative, very helpful, and very on point. So I feel very strongly that I would like to support his application.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
Can we just,
Word?
the current constable also sent us a letter, right, interested in continuing. He
We-
didn't show up this evening.
He's not here,
All right,
so we
just a
would,
note. for the
yeah.
record.
Transparently, what follows this is executive session, yes?
yes. Yes. So we're gonna be following this. I think you've got all our questions answered with your letter and what you just stated. I appreciate your being here.
I mean, I think I want to make a public acknowledgement. I mean, I appreciate your,
Thank you, Dan.
your application and your awareness, your stated public awareness that there are people in this town who are wary of law enforcement for all the good reasons. So yeah, it's meaningful to me that
Yeah.
you acknowledge that. Also, yeah, there are moments, times when we need someone in a role such as yours to not wantonly endanger many more. So yeah, it's like it's a great responsibility to undertake the task.
I look forward to it if selected.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I still hesitate to make a decision tonight without having the other candidate here.
We have the letter. We can.
We do have the letter.
I mean, should we
we-
should we read the letter?
Fran, do you wanna-
in this,
you wanna
like,
speak?
publicly to allow?
Maybe,
I informed the other candidate about this meeting,
oh,
and
I can.
it's been publicly posted. And I really don't think that should delay the decision at all, in my
Okay.
opinion.
okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna read the letter, his letter.
And
I guess I thought you were gonna read his letter.
would you like to recognize? I don't know if this person.
If you want to read it.
Do I want to does somebody have a hand up?
Yeah, I got something just to add.
You gotta come up here. Say your name, because you didn't say it when we did public.
Mike Carver. I had wanted to talk to you later about something, but as far as this dog issues go, you gotta take into account, when you send a gentleman out like Dan here, who could definitely do the job, you've gotta have the law behind you first. To get the law behind you first, you gotta change the system. You gotta contact your representative and say, this situation exists. It's been existing for a long time. How do we go about changing it? You're talking about these people been there for 4 years and nothing's been done. That's the system. Same thing with the dog. It's permitting it. This is a predator-friendly state. If you want change, you've got to be responsible for change. You got to contact your representative and say, hey, look, this is a problem that hasn't been addressed for years. What do we do to correct it?
Okay, but we're working on that right now, but thank you. So do we want to have a motion for constable?
I mean, I think the question is, the next question that I see is, do we want to read the present constable's statement to offer parity to what Dan just provided?
It has been read, yeah.
Well, we have.
You want to read it?
I found it. I was trying to find time to actually find it, but I have it. So.
Okay.
This is from Christopher Keast, the current town constable. Bram, I would like to apply to be reappointed as constable. The 2023 log has been submitted. I can resend that if you need me to. The 2024 log is not ready yet. I will send that once I have it prepared. I have been slowly trying to organize this office, focusing on the ability to actually have enforcement. I look forward to continuing this effort. I have been working with the animal control officer often, and we seem to work well together. The animal control officer would also like to try to make the office work better for the community as well. With the municipal ticket system, Plainfield Town might actually have some sort of consequences for folks who fail to follow the rules. To date, that has not been the case. This is a difficult and interesting job, with most not having a solid idea of how it functions. It can be very dangerous at a moment's notice with no training offered, no equipment, and no backup. It has been challenging to provide the service the town seems to want. I hope to change this for the better. Thank you for the privilege to serve the town of Plainfield. Best regards, Christopher M. Keast.
Okay. Any more thoughts on that?
Yes.
Peter?
I appreciate the fact that Chris mentioned the municipal ticket system here. I think what we've learned from the Bean Road incident is that we, as the town, have come up short and are lacking because we don't have that system in place. And I know Bram was looking into that, and I'm not sure, no matter who we appoint here, unless we change that system and get into that, I think we will make it more difficult for whichever candidate to be successful.
I mean, before we get into the municipal ticketing system, since it's not the agenda item for tonight, we are already at 8:04 and we haven't done the executive session.
We still
so
have.
Can we just stick to the constable issue specifically?
And I would entertain a motion if somebody has one. Yes.
I move to appoint Dan Caddy as Plainfield Town Constable.
Second.
Okay. There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
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 5-0. Okay, welcome. Yeah, I think your background is very strong.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, we're going into, well, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
And the second. And we have a vote of all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're going to invite Carol to stay and anyone else we invite to the stage?
Josh, yeah, right?
Oh, Josh is here, yeah.
We'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And so, this is the moment for all those online, unless you really want to hang out after the executive session to see the minutes approved. This is a good time to say goodnight.
Our copies of
Thank you for coming.
Were they over
They're
there?
not over there anymore?
They all got taken. It's all right, it's online.
It is on this website. I can send you the link to it.
Okay, we're exiting the personnel executive session. There is one action to take. We want to have a motion for the adjustment to Josh. It's
Make a motion for town treasurer position, Josh Pitts, to be transferred from salary to hourly wage
I second that.
At a rate of 27.04 an hour.
at a rate of $27.04 an hour, effective immediately.
I second that.
and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
And we have an appointment. That's all the executive session items. We have an appointment of Dave Boynton for the revolving loan fund.
Yeah, this was a scene where so many messages were in my spam box, including like 60 from Dan. And Dave Boynton, who did reply to my query
I
about
was wondering about him.
if he would like to be reappointed to the revolving loan committee. He did get back to me and said yes. So now is our moment. Motion to appoint Dave Boynton to the revolving loan committee.
I
Second.
second that. Oh, we both.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is this a specific term? Just till town meeting or?
Is there, I would need to look at the revolving loan committee charter. I don't know.
He's a reappointment. Peter, we just missed it when we did all the reappointments the other week.
Right, whatever his term was, I think it was 3 years, but
Right, I'm only asking, I have nothing to do with Dave or the revolving loan fund, but we found at town meeting that a lot of the people, some people have been actually on their committee longer than their charter allows, and other people, they didn't even know what their term was. So I'm just trying to keep us on track here that.
yeah, good. Well, thank you.
I mean, I don't think it's like the presidency though, you can run as many times. as you
No,
want.
there are some that have rules about not being able to be on for a certain number of, past a certain number of years.
I hope it's not the water and wastewater, because Mary Lane's been on there for 21 years.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, we have,
Can I make a motion that we approve the draft
thank
minutes
you.
for the March 4th town meeting, as well as the March 1st, March 10th, and March 17th select board meetings?
I second that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. We have approval of warrants, accounts payable. 312, 315, 318, payroll, 320. I'll move that. Second,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And what's the other
I-
one?
that we announced the second
Well, we
date.
don't have to move for that.
Oh,
Carl just does,
I just did it even though I wasn't.
Okay.
No, I meant the announce of the next. select
Oh,
board
yeah.
meeting. We don't have to move on that. We just, he just
Yeah.
does it.
The announcement's gonna be, actually next Monday is, what is the date next Monday?
The 31st.
March
31st, thank you, March 31st, a special meeting. And then our next regular meeting is, gonna be on April 14. That's our regular meeting.
Motion to adjourn this meeting of this plainfield select board.
Second? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Yeah,
Peter.
it's really, I have your cool.
Mhm.